Yeti stereo microphone.
All right.
Sweet. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm just real low for some reason on mine, but I'll figure it out. Oh, there we go. Because I was being low. That's why.
All good. All right. I'm going to hit the intro, and here we go.
The following footage is certified PG. Pretty great.
It's Anomaly Presents with your friends, the Podcastronauts.
Sounds like a lot of supernatural baloney to me.
Supernatural, perhaps. Baloney, perhaps not.
Hello, and welcome to the Anomaly Presents podcast, the podcast about the genre movies that inspired the Anomaly Film Festival taking place in Rochester, New York. Hey, watch this. If you're watching on video, guess what I got? It's a graphic. So we're taking place on the 15th. 2026. It's a cool graphic. It's also a good reminder because I always forget the dates this early in the year. So here we go. We are actually back at the Little and the Dryden. Check us out at anomalyfilmfest.com. My name is Matt Austin, and tonight I am joined by the Podcastronauts. I've got Kristen Pelk-Pacheco with me.
Hey, everybody.
I've got Megan Murphy.
Hi, they haven't kicked me off yet. The fools.
And we've got a special guest podcastronaut tonight. I am so thrilled he could be here with us. Gavin Mevius of the Mixed Reviews podcast and the Q Division James Bond podcast. So thrilled to have you in, Gavin. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm a big fan, so I'm just, don't mind me if I look a little red. I'm like, I get to be here?
Oh, thanks. We're big fans too. So we met Gavin. Well, I've been following Gavin on socials for probably I don't want to put a date on it because it'll date both of us. But
yeah, you received the court documents, right? That you're not allowed to do that anymore.
Yeah, sorry.
My lawyers have been in touch.
Yeah. So 500 feet later. So following each other on socials, and then got the chance to meet in person at the festival this year. Gavin is a film editor. He edited the film One Night Cherub, which was one of our favorite shorts. So we were thrilled that he was able to make it along with his fellow filmmakers from Austin. And then we were so excited we wanted to have Gavin on the podcast because we wanted to talk more movies with him.
I just want to, and I don't mean to interrupt, but I just want to talk you guys up. I love your film festival. I've been a fan and a supporter from very early on. I was one of the original Kickstarters. Every year that you had a Kickstarter, I donated because I just really want to support everything you do because first of all, a genre film festival is an amazing, extraordinary beast anyways. And there should be more of them. And you guys are just like leading the way in terms of the way that you do it. Like there's such a community there. It's so beautiful. I've been trying to make it out every year that because I mean, literally putting a film that I edited in certainly helped, but like I made it a point to finally get out there this year and just seeing the way that you guys run it. And it's really beautiful because I work for the New York Film Festival here, editing their videos, their Q&As and whatnot during the festival. And it's for such a massive organization, such a tightly wound ship, and to see it on your level, like it was like holy crap, how do you do this? How like you guys like your blood, sweat and tears are truly in it, and it pays off. So thank you for having me. Thank you for having the film. It was so welcoming and so nice, and what a beautiful time.
Thank you. I don't know if we can do the show now. We're so
I'm emotionally compromised.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. That was great, everybody. I'll see.
Come back next week for the Anomaly Presents Mutual Admiration Society.
Is my $5 in the mail?
It's going. It's got to get a stamp.
With the legal documents. So we're here tonight, not only to fawn over each other, but to talk about a movie that I don't have. Had you guys seen this before? I know, Gavin, you have.
Oh.
Gavin actually suggested this to us.
So that's for me, you know how you have certain films that are always on the like, I should see this and I bet I'll enjoy it, but like the time never comes around. So this was perfect because this made me go, hey, Watch that thing. You'll probably like it. And spoiler alert, I did. It's very much my shit.
Same. Except I hadn't heard of it before, and as soon as I looked it up, I cleared the schedule and buckled in for that, and then had it in the background before I hopped on. I was like, I need to rewatch those last 15 minutes.
Oh
See
my
the
God.
vibes.
And I even put on a witch shirt today.
Yeah.
Very on brand. Yeah. And I was the same boat with KP. I had not heard of it before. I saw the list of suggested movies you had, Gavin, and I was like, man, I hope he picks that because I have never seen it. It sounds fascinating.
Yeah, I did. I sent a list, and a lot of them are movies that I've either talked about before or I consider like my favorite films. But what I like about V is, sorry, have you introduced the fact that it's V yet?
No,
No, that was very organic, though.
Oh, I thank you.
Yeah, that was perfect.
If I'm honest, Gavin, I was going to let you do it because I wasn't sure how to pronounce it. So,
Oh yes, yeah.
Go for it. Oh yeah.
I'm so bad with pronunciation. I'm pretty sure there's actually like a slightly more like accent on the Y, so it's more like V. Yeah, but I don't want to insult anybody, so I just say V. But V, which is a 1967 Soviet film. I think that all of the movies that I sent on the list are like movies that inspired me when I first started, like movies that got me into the idea of wanting to work in film. Like I sent Chungking Express, which was I saw when I was 11. It was the first film I realized like, oh, like a movie is made by people and like has a style. And Clue and Batman Returns have been my favorite films since I was a little kid. And Tank Girl I've spoken about on other podcasts because I'm just a huge fan. But V is something I saw much later in life. I want to say I probably saw it maybe the pandemic. And it was one of those things that like, even though I'd already been an editor for 15 years at that point, like I watched it and I was like, oh, this is why I want to make films. Like movies like this existing is like why I want to do this, because it's so what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's so simple and yet complicated. It's so full of beautiful filmic tricks like live action, rear projection, stop motion, costumes, prosthetics, and just, but also beautiful, simple storytelling. And yeah, I'm so happy that none of you had seen it before, because I wish I could go back and not have seen it before and watch it for the first time, because especially KP, as you were saying, that ending is like, it's mind-blowing. Like you watch it now and you're still like, how did they do that?
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's one of those interesting because it's not a long film, and it's a perfect little folk tale, and it just leads you down and you're like, oh, it's getting kind of whimsical, it's getting kind of weird. And then it just like shoots you with a bazooka in the face at the end there.
Yeah, I love that it's not afraid to play with genre, because there is quite a bit of it that's very silly and clearly purposefully silly. Like like the score is like and during points, and you're just kind of like, yeah, like great. Like there's a man pretending to be an old witch carrying another man through the sky. Like
Yes.
which also the old witch is a drag role, which I love that it is a man playing that old witch.
One of the other funny parts that took me out immediately was when they're just like yelling with the birds. Like, he's like, knock it off. It's like, okay. I had a double take. I went back and I was like, what sound did that man make?
Well, I appreciated when it started right off and we're like at a seminary, like a school for possible like religious figures. And these are like the rowdiest, like most untrustworthy dudes ever. Like
Right.
they're instantly, they're stealing birds, they're snatching up women. They just cannot wait to go on break and cause more trouble. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. This is not going to be like the faith fight. I thought it would be like, oh no, like a man of faith. No, I don't know if he believes in anything, but like whatever he wants in the moment. As we talk to our protagonist, what a mess. And I appreciate that. This dude's a mess.
It's such a fascinating way to tell the story, because I saw somewhere as I was reading, because I again had no frame of reference, that this is kind of the same story that Mario Bava's Black Sunday is based on.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's such a wild flip from Black Sunday, which is it's the polar opposite of this film. Like it is
Mood wise.
Yeah.
yeah. You
Yeah,
watch that
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it's grim. And then
It's
this is like
oh no, go on. Sorry.
sorry. And this is totally the opposite. It is again. It's got that um, really light folk tale, fairy tale kind of feel to it that Black Sunday really doesn't. It makes for me it makes it a bit more enjoyable. It's such a twist on it that it was interesting.
It's funny. I'm a eternal student as well, and I'm sure as fellow nerds, no offense if you're offended by
Oh
that,
no,
but I'm sure you all are
100.
too.
Yes.
We know what we're about. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have to, when somebody's like research something, I was like I have to do everything. So my husband actually found me a copy of the short story, which is
Oh.
by Nikolai Gogol, and
Mhm.
this is a direct, almost one for one of the short story. It's kind of crazy. I think the only thing that's maybe different, and I might just be confusing the two, is there's a point in the middle where somebody tells him another story about a bride attempting to like ride her husband as a witch, and he's like, oh, that happened to me. Like what a fun what a fun like, oh yeah, no, it's a
Oh,
pretty
so it's
common
not-
witch thing.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I guess this is something that just happens from time to time.
It just happens. Yeah.
Right.
No need to worry.
But I love that this was such a pervasive like folk tale in the Soviet Union that for years places outside the Soviet Union thought that this character V, which is Gogol created out of his own imagination, was like an old like reaching back thousands of years folktale when he had just came up with the early 1800s. There's like references to it in like Scottish books about folklore in the late 1800s, being like, ah yes, we have similar spirits, and it's like, I guess maybe you do, but he just made it up. Like it's not.
I guess in some cases aren't all folk tales made up. I
Yes.
guess.
Yeah.
So it's like.
But I do love that it has that power, that it was just like, yeah, it's this thing, it's a part of our culture, and it's like, is it kinda?
It is now.
Right.
It just started. Much later than you would expect.
Well,
Absolutely.
it has that perfect folklore rhythm. Like you start like our protagonist doesn't know of these things, and then you go off on a journey. There's like two journeys: a journey where
Yeah.
they find the witch in the classic, like asking for hospitality, following rules or not. Apparently, in particularly Ukrainian folklore, there is a kind of witch who rides people like a horse into the sky. So like this is a thing that happens. That,
Once again,
then-
it's just a common occurrence.
it's a thing that happens, right? And then you have an additional journey with them going. So it all has that thing of like, okay, now you crossed the boundary, or you encountered something that you weren't expecting, and now you have to finish it. So it
Right.
has that, yeah. And then of course the perfect like 3 nights, which is just so fairy tale. Like, and then it allows it to the first night's gonna be bad, that second night's gonna be worse, and then you're bracing for the third night, which is just great because and it's not like, it's not boring. It's like, oh, I can't, like, I'm ready. I'm ready for this. He's not, but I am, and I love that. Plus, from what I've read, the fact that it was folklore is this is made in the Soviet Union,
Yes.
and it was during a thing called Khrushchev's thaw, which is like where they got to be the artists got to have a little more like maneuvering room, not like carte blanche, right? And I think the filmmakers were very smart that they use folklore to kind of make a horror film, because they're like, oh, it's folklore, we celebrate that here because it's culture, right? So in a way, it's kind of like a stealth horror film, because there was nothing to object to when it's like, oh no, this is, we make paintings of this and we celebrate this strong history, and instead they made this wild film with these images that to this day I'm like, some of them are gonna stay with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine watching it in 1967 going like, what?
I mean, they had the 3 big strikes against them too. The things that you weren't really like you said, it's religion, which that supernatural, and also oh shoot, I had the third one, now I can't remember what it was, but yeah, it was just, it's those things that like they were like, you can't make films about this, and they're like, well, it's a folk tale, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and horror. That's the
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go.
yeah,
See,
duh,
that's how
duh,
stealth
duh,
it
duh.
was.
Yeah.
I was like, is it like the allusions to sex? That's what I was like. My
No.
brain is like,
No, everybody loves that.
more, please.
That's how you get them into the theaters, right?
And it's like
Yeah.
perfect because that's what like a fairy tale or a folk story does. Is it kind of like stealths wisdom and knowledge in a culture? So it's like they're using a folk tale to do what a folk tale does, which I love. You know, like just hey, remember this stuff, and you can you can hear some thoughts that maybe you didn't have, but we've disguised them. You know, to keep the
Absolutely.
flame. Yeah.
Have any of you ever, and this is like just a side tangent, but have you ever heard of the fairy tale of the boy who left home to find out about the shivers?
Oh, they did that in Fairy Tale Theater with
Thank
Shelley
you,
Duvall.
Megan.
Yes, I
Yes.
think Peter McNichol was in it.
Correct.
Look at this information I have. So yay!
It's coming in clutch. It's there.
Finally.
And it has a very similar structure to that
Yeah.
because that's a fairy tale about a boy who doesn't believe that anything can scare him, and he eventually like goes to this kingdom, and they're like, if you stay the night for 3 nights in this haunted castle, you get to get to take over. And he goes and and he has each night's an increasing more haunting, but nothing like affects him. He like befriends the ghost and everything, and finally at the end they're like, okay, you get the kingdom and you have to marry my daughter. And he's like, oh no. Like, and that scares him, and and so this is like has actually like maybe a more effective ending, but every time I watch V, I'm like, oh yes, I think of the fairy tale theater because I just remember them bowling with skulls in the fairy tale theater.
God. You are like I've had that in my head. I'm like, oh my god, I'm picturing it exactly. I watched it a lot. It was at the library and you could rent it.
Yeah. Fairy tale theater's great. I mean, a lot of filmmakers from that time period, it's undersung. You had Francis Ford Coppola doing some of them, Tim Burton doing some of them, like
exactly. Hey everybody, a side quest. Go find Fairy Tale Theater. Okay.
Me looking up to see if our local library has it anymore. No.
Almost here, somewhere. It's on the VHS rack probably, but it's there. Now I'm in the mind of The Ghost of Mr. Chicken because it's kind of the same. Never mind.
Yes. Sorry, I flung my cord.
Yeah.
But yes, The Ghost of Mr. Chicken. Yeah, which I only recently saw within the last couple of years for the mixed reviews because we do a Halloween episode every year, and one year we did ghosts on film, and I wanted to make sure I got some comedies in there because I was like, can't all be spooky all the time.
Yeah, that's right. That's a solid choice. You're like, you don't always think like, it's kind of wacky.
Yeah.
It's not nuts. So that's right. Awesome.
I saw it when I was a kid, and then it was just on Svengoolie, so I got to watch it with my kid on Svengoolie, and it was absolutely great.
I love it. What's interesting with me is this reminds me so much of one of my favorite films, House or Houseu.
Yes.
From 1977, and you all know I feel like I was gonna say like that's what the inside of my head looks like. like I feel like it's cute, but it's creepy, and there's no and I was like, oh god, I wonder. I did a quick bit. I couldn't tell if it had been inspiration or not, but it feels so that whimsicalish nature of, but there's still terror. It's still scary, and then like the use of color, and that surrealism. Is very interesting, and you can kind of see a thread whether it was intentional or not. I was like, oh yeah, that could hit a skeleton. Once the skeleton showed up, I'm like, yeah, it's just a full-on House on Haunted Hill skeleton.
and what I like,
Murgo.
Yes. And what I like about the spectacle portion of it too is that it's not just used for like it'd be one thing if it was only for the superstition parts of it or the supernatural parts of it, but like there's shots of him running and it's clearly the actor running in place and they're just rear projecting behind him, and then have people like running like pieces of grass around him to like create that movement. And it's so beautiful, like because it creates that otherworldly feel of like, what am I looking like, what is wrong with the motion here, why does it look like this? But it's very cool. So it's nice that it's not fully just reserved for the bits in which it is supernatural. It's for the bits that just to remind you the whole thing is a fairy tale, that it sort of doesn't take place. Like it is there to teach you a lesson, and it is there to be like, oh, be careful if you don't have as much faith as you think you do, you shouldn't get yourself into these situations. But also to be like, oh, but it's also a fairy tale.
Yeah. I think that opens so we're we start talking about the cinematography, which is it is a simple fairy tale story, but where the complexity comes in is the visual style. The way that it is it's not realistic. It has that it's letting you know you're watching a story almost like it's on a stage, right? And then of course we get into how they do the supernatural and the effects, starting with the witch riding him, which in all honesty, I did not expect where that was going to oh my god, the witch is fully on him.
Yeah, it was that with the broom that took me out. It wasn't just I'm going to be on his shoulders and ride him like a horse. It's I have the broom in my hand.
Yeah, it was like Baba Yaga style, when you see a classic witch illustration where they're on somebody and their little legs are I'm like, oh, there we go. That's a classic. Yeah. And then the beautiful design of the chapel where the body is, where every painting in there, every religious icon is the most terrifying thing I have ever seen. They are all just staring out, wishing you the worst. Baby Jesus hates you. I can tell. There's that one shot, the Madonna shot. I'm like, what's going on with that baby? Oh, that's Jesus. Oh no, buddy, get out of there.
So many glorious candles.
So many glorious candles. God. Yeah. Just the way that because there's also, speaking of the church, they use a lot of reprojection in the church too, because one of my favorite shots is when they clearly have him on basically a rotating platform, and they're just spinning him with the rear projection of the church behind him, and so you feel like you're doing a complete 360 around him, but you're actually not seeing that much of the church because he's the one that's moving, not the camera. It's a brilliant choice.
I was like, this movie's gonna make me dizzy. And I love little things first night it's cats, and then the second night it's birds, and I'm like, oh no, what's third night? Everything.
Yeah,
a bird comes out of a book at one point. There's no entry point. It just comes out of a book.
And she says vampires, and it's not 3. It's the whole crew.
They're all painted. You can see paint strokes on all the creatures, and they're painted that same gray blue that the chapel is. In fact, that only bit of color is our protagonist in his. It's not a lot of color. It's like brown and blonde. Or later gray. But later gray. Good job, buddy. But I love that they kept that color of that became the supernatural color. That little bluey gray. Her skin is kind of this pale and with a fantastic blue eyeshadow. The style and the little daisy crown, gorgeous in death. I dig her style.
Yeah, you still got to look great in the coffin. You can't.
She's like, no, lay me out good.
Especially as it's spinning around.
Yes. Well, that was I was going to say that's the escalation that I really love. The first night she walks towards him and she's kind of I can't.
She's kind
really...
of miming.
Yeah. And the classic, he draws a circle, which I think a lot of people instantly understand that. Oh, that's protective,
Yeah. But then the second night, she's like, "No, I'm gonna ride my coffin into your circle. I'm gonna boom, boom,
ramming it in.
You're not getting away from me, buddy."
And she's in it like a little dragster.
Yeah, exactly. Like a little wacky racers. You need what was his name, Muttley or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Sniper Flash and Muttley, exactly. Yeah, it's
yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, that was
really brilliant.
Which is funny, but also oh my god, imagine a coffin coming at your head, right? The circles worked, but for how long? Things are getting. First, it's a young woman. Okay, I could probably take her. She's a witch, but physically she looks, and now oh no, she's in a whole ass coffin being slammed against here. This is a problem. That's why he's at the perfect I can't do the third night because you're looking for I can't do it.
But
understandably,
that goes back to that like classic what you were talking about, the Joseph Campbell hero journey. Like you need that moment right before the very end where there's the refusal of the
Yeah.
call, and then finally like, no, I guess I have to do it. But I love that that's for this is preceded by a vigorous dance and then getting wasted.
Yeah, there's I can't convey how much drinking this character does. How much of it he's at least semi drunk, if not completely blasted, and that's like before the supernatural stuff.
Right.
Like just a steady state of like
Yeah, he was gonna do it
inebriation.
anyways. He was gonna be at that level before.
And no matter what. Yeah.
He simply just did not want to be there.
Yeah.
Once he realized who it was, he's like, I don't have to go, right? And they're like, nah, your ride's already here. Get in.
Yeah, exactly.
She asked for you specifically.
And I do love that like I get it, like it's funny because it's in a very Soviet sort of way, like it is a peril of capitalism because they only send him because like, listen, the guy is a wealthy landowner and he donates a lot, so like you got to do it. But I love that nobody questions why he was asked for by name except for the father, who's like he's like, hey, did you know her? And he's like, no, I certainly don't recognize her as a witch. And the father's like, well, you must be renowned for being a holy man then. That must be it.
Yep. Just definitely didn't club her to death at all.
Yeah. So it's Coma Brutus. He's an interesting character to be our lead because like he's kind of like, I don't think contemptible, but I guess a little contemptible. Like he's not a hero. He's one of these like students who are just like drinking and stealing and causing a ruckus. And like when they find this old woman and they're like, hey, you have to let us in because like we need a place. Like he just takes a fish and starts eating it. He didn't ask, and it kind of like speaks, and he doesn't like change in the story. Like he doesn't have a moment where you're like, oh, he's gonna have like either like a come to Jesus moment, the little baby Jesus staring at him, or like a moment or like, oh God, I really have to buckle down and like the power God. No, I mean he calls God as kind of like the rules say, which that if I say the stuff in this book, that'll protect me. Like that's the logic he's working on. He's never believing, and he's also constantly trying to run away from this obligation, trying to jump out of the wagon with the guys. I love the old guys. He literally jumps a fence and starts running after that second night just to see how far he can get. Not far. No. But like, yeah, he's just, and the fact that he did like, okay, so a witch did ride you like a horse magically through the sky, right? Right. But like
you were fine afterwards.
You were fine. But then obviously this is kind of what seals the deal. Is like he like beats the witch, and then takes off. Like when she becomes like, oh, a young woman, maybe she's young, he just leaves.
Yeah,
like
he doesn't check. Yeah, it'd be like, hey, this is a weird thing that's happening between us.
Yeah.
You okay?
You okay? I'm not excusing the witch's actions, but I also feel like there's like, what? Two bad things can be true at the same time. They're toxic together.
But that's actually a really good point, Megan, too, because the witch doesn't seek them out. And that's something I guess I hadn't thought about it before. Like their encounter with the witch is fully sparked by them showing up and being like, we need a place to stay.
Yeah. And she says no at first.
Right.
She says I'm full up and
roaming the countryside looking for a handsome young, which by the way, he's very handsome. Every time I watch the movie, I'm like, this dude would clean up in Bushwick. He would be so, which is where I live. I'm like,
with that
very
haircut.
Popular. Yeah, exactly. The bowl cut, people would be like, oh my God, who are you? What's your story?
Yeah.
But
you're a character.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Like it's not like she's like roaming the countryside. She's like minding her business. And she's like, okay, well, if you're going to come in here and then I'm going to have to ride you like a bat. I guess. I gotta
do witch stuff now.
Right,
like
exactly.
that
you interrupted the witch stuff. This is really your fault.
Yeah. But it's weird because so there's not a hero, and it's not like, it's just it is interesting because it's like a thing that happens to a dude. But I kind of like that as a thing for a fairy tale because like like it's not like you're chosen or anything. Sometimes a thing happens, and sometimes you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, or you say the wrong thing, or you're rude to the wrong crone, and
Always.
And
be kind to crones, y'all.
Lack of faith and his. I mean, even when he does try to run away, he's like, well, I'll get all that money, right? Like he thinks there's still at the end he will get money, and then the two other guys at the end are like, yeah, if he had more faith, he probably wouldn't have died. They're like,
Right.
did he die? What?
which is not, that is maybe the one big change from the short story, is the short
Yep.
story is like very much like, no, he died because he did this. Like this is, and it does have that scene where the two guys are discussing it, but neither one is like, did he die? They're just like, oh yeah, sad that he's dead. But the movie's kind of like, did he? And it's like, why are we supplying it out for this man?
Yeah, maybe a sequel.
For me too, yeah.
So they did remake this very loosely, apparently, in the early 2000s with, I want to say, I'm gonna get it wrong. It's not Jason Isaacs. I feel like it can't possibly be Jason Fleming of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen fame. And
oh my god.
Man.
And I believe they followed that up with a couple sequels, and one of them was like co-financed by China. So like it's like V goes east or something like that. Yeah.
Huh. Okay, I'm afraid I'm curious now.
You
Damn it.
opened a door, and I'm going to walk right through it.
Yeah.
No, Megan KP, have more faith. You will survive the 3 nights.
It's okay.
Stay tuned
Yeah,
for
it's gonna be
the
fine.
Anomaly Presents V Cinematic Universe series coming soon.
No, I'm getting 1,000 gold coins. It's fine. It's gonna be a cakewalk. I know how to draw a circle.
I know how to draw a circle. I got some books. I can chant.
I got books. That's right. What I find very interesting, right? So again, we're talking about the escalation of the 3 nights, right? So like they kind of establish that like when she rises, she can't see him, right? So the first one is just her, and that's why she's kind of like hitting the barrier, which I love because it's like it's like it's mime. It's a little mime in there, right?
So yeah.
Yeah. And then we get like, okay, she can't see, but she has a coffin, but she's still kind of on her own. So I love the third comes in, and that's when we finally get V. We don't get V until the very end. And it's kind of this idea of like, she can't see him, like he's protected by this circle, perhaps, maybe whatever remnant faith he has. But I love it's another classic fairy tale thing where he's like, I just won't look. Yes. I just won't look, and he won't be able to see me. And V has, this is my favorite design part. It's just this big blocky creature, right? Like it's almost like this troll situation. But he has these like super long eyelids or eyelashes that he has to ask others to flip up so he can see. But like then he can see, and we have our guy kind of look, because like I mean I would be curious. I gotta be honest. I love to say that I would just trust, but like if I'm hearing like someone's gonna flip his eyelids open, I would probably turn to, and that what allows V to see, like V's vision, right?
He's sort of shaped, just to give a visual for those who haven't seen it. He's sort of shaped like Gossamer from Looney Tunes, who's the big orange monster that's always after Bugs Bunny, but shaved. Like tiny arms, like big, broad. But yeah, and I love that you're right. Like it's so funny too, because it, like you said, there's this escalation and there's all these monsters. There's like the skeletons and the cats and the birds and the like, they're crawling down the walls, and there's some little people dressed as monsters too, and some of them have really insane faces, and it's all this stuff. And then she's like, bring out V, and he comes out, and I swear to God, on the face of Coma Brutus he's like, that's V? Like, I swear to God, he looks kind of like, wait a second. He's like, that skeleton guy over there is a little scarier than V.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like, maybe it's not so bad.
Right, exactly. But then he's like, actually, no, I won't look at him. Like, that's...
It's funny because he has that, obviously he has that wisdom.
Yeah.
But he just can't, listen, I think that like a lot of things, like even if we're talking like Orpheus, like the thing of like, don't look back, but it is so like tied, I think, into like human stories.
Yeah.
That like instantly
the Bible has it too. Not to get biblical on you, but
he had a Bible, so
he did have a Bible.
This is all
religious man.
No, you're right. I like that. So, like, as a story, as an audience, you instantly understand that logic, because it hadn't been set up. It's not a thing he read, but you're like, oh no, that makes sense. That makes sense. Don't look at the thing that can see you, because I feel he can see you. But our boy isn't a hero.
If he had more faith in his own belief and not faith in just the rooster crowing, because that's what does him in. Is the rooster crows
He hears
once,
the
he's like, oh,
Oh, I'm
it's all
free.
over, and he looks
Made it.
back, and it's like, you should have waited just maybe 2 more crows, buddy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Pick up on a pattern.
yeah.
He's unable. This is the third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, Matt.
It's like, so it's like an hour 17.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that the nights last about 5 to 10 minutes film wise. And the film's not interested in trying to make it seem longer. There's not a dissolve. You don't see, I guess, a little clock for some reason in the chapel. It's just a thing happened and the night's over. And I was like, I like you, movie.
We saw the
I
most
like you. You just
exciting
get
thing
to
we had to see. We're in, we're out.
We're in, we're out. Like, don't fill time. We don't have time. Let's just do the thing. And I was like, thanks, movie. I'm in good hands. I was afraid of repetition. Now we're good.
In fact, her spell to rob him of the color of his hair maybe takes longer than the night itself of her like crashing into the barrier in her coffin car. Like, she's like, okay, well, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna cast one spell I know can reach you.
Yeah, that was interesting because it adds danger again. Because at first you're like, oh, he's safe, and then you're like, oh, okay, but she can still mess with him. So like, oh, anything's possible. Also, apparently one of the dudes took it offensively that they said, hey, you have gray hair like this guy.
Yes,
and he's like, sorry? That's my thing? That's my thing in this village, okay? How dare?
but that's what it's gonna say is like, it's very funny that like that's the thing that sort of alerts the villagers, like, oh, maybe something else is going on here. Maybe like besides the fact that he's kind of acting crazy, because that's when he's doing his little dance and everybody's like, why are you dancing? Like, and it's just crazy.
Spiraling.
Like,
He's just spiraling.
He's spiraling, exactly.
They provided a band though. He's like, give me some musicians. They're like, let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
We'll eat our borscht. We'll watch we'll get dinner and a show.
Yeah, dinner and a show.
Small town, you have to take the entertainment when you can. So yeah,
right.
That band's been waiting their entire career for somebody to pop out and go, give me a tune.
And by band, it's a guy with a flute. He never gets a chance to play it. Yeah, good for him.
And also, he's a guest. They're just being hospitable. Like, how many times
his dance?
Exactly. How many times have you invited somebody over for dinner and they're like, well, we gotta dance, and you're like, bring out the band.
Go get my saxophone from 8th grade. We gotta make this happen.
You too, Matt. You too.
I think one of the other things that is interesting to me, I guess they're dealing a little bit with class in that. So the only reason that he is like feels that need to go, well, it's because like the head priest guys like, you have to go because they have a connection to this lord basically, and like you could tell because they were bringing stuff to him and he was going to get him books. So we know that there's a established situation there that they kind of like have to send this dude, even though he's like, I don't want to go. But it's like, I'm not going. He's like, yeah, no, you're going though. So like, but then you have this the father, and I think it's kind of revealed because like that after that second night when Korma goes there and says, listen, I don't want to basically like, I don't want to be rude, but like your daughter kind of is in league with Satan as a witch, right?
Right. He does actually kind of say that. He's like, maybe your daughter might know Satan. I know, I'm not making any accusations, but
things got a little weird last night.
Yeah, weird. But like the dad isn't like surprised or yells at him. He's like, yeah. Because they have the power. What's someone going to do? Like he obviously like owns that land and that village is under his control. So if his daughter is out, like apparently rode at least one other dude we hear, like and the villagers talk about it's Penachek, like her title.
Yes, yeah.
Right, which I'm assuming is kind of like lady. Yeah, so apparently like she could do whatever the hell she wanted and no one was going to stop it anyway. But I love that thing like, oh no, the dad knows. That's not a bit of information that's going to change anything. You still got to stay there the third night. His little dove needs a chance at salvation. Though I don't think that was her plan. Her plan was to fuck with this guy.
Oh, yeah.
The dad interprets it as like she wanted her soul saved. Like, yeah, Dad, that's exactly what I wanted.
No, she wanted
this guy.
Yeah,
100%. Which I actually like that energy. Listen. I know that witch thing happened, but also like you kind of beat me to death. So I think I get to have like I think that's only fair.
it's funny because people come up sometimes. I think of when Shannon Doherty died, and she had a list of people who weren't allowed to come to her funeral.
Oh
This
my
is the
God.
opposite of that, right? Where it's like you're
You're like,
coming for 3 nights, and you're gonna read my dead body.
Honestly, KP, that's the energy I hope to bring in this world. I'm either
Yes.
creating a list of people who can't come or a list of people who have to come.
Yes.
Like-
Yeah.
You have to
To the point
come.
where,
You
like,
need to
yeah.
take 4 days of PTO. This is how
Yeah.
it happens. 4
Yes.
years.
Yeah.
And you alone.
I was also going to say, Matt, I have no idea how old your kids or kid, multiple kid. I
Just
have
the
no
one.
idea how old, but like they're gonna get to that stage where they're rebellious, rock music, communing with the devil, and you're just gonna have to go with it,
Can only hope. Yeah, exactly. See, this is the thing though, Gavin. He's my kid, so it's going to be that thing where it's going to go the other direction. And
Right,
he's going to be going to seminary because we just dragged him to a
Right.
descendant show in Pittsburgh.
He's gonna be like, hey, somebody just requested I spend 3 nights in their tomb. You're gonna be like, I don't think it's a good idea.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
How much did you say they're paying?
Yeah, 1,000 rubles. Oh.
Maybe we can swing it. Go into your college fund.
You have been wanting that Nintendo Switch, so.
I want to talk a little more about that final scene because it's not just like creatures coming out. They do a great effect where it's like they're coming down the wall. The thing that got me, the first thing is the hands. Yes,
Immediately,
KP, you did exactly that. Because at first I was like, okay, hands coming through the wall, creepy, yeah. And then like you get another shot and you realize they're the size of him.
Yes.
Like it's like a forest of these like blue-gray hands. I'm like, where does that visual come from? Like what is this referencing? And then there was like this weird skeleton tentacle creature that we only see once, and I'm like, oh, go back to him. I like him. I want his story. But it keeps coming. The kids keep coming.
And the short story provides none of that. Like that is the creation of the filmmakers. It's basically like, I'm not saying it's not descriptive, but it's basically kind of like ghouls, and I read a translation, but like it's kind of like, and then all the ghouls come, and it's not great.
The filmmakers were like, "Oh, we'll give you ghouls."
Yeah,
oh my God.
Exactly.
And I love how through different practical effects, impossible like physics happen. Like there's one thing where like these ghouls are like coming through the wall, and like theoretically I know, okay, there's probably space behind the wall, but like when you're just looking at it straight, it looks like they're just kind of emerging through like the wood, and you're like, oh, that's disconcerting. Because you can't stop it up. Like it doesn't have to be ghoul-sized holes. They'll just come through. They're just right. But it's almost like they're crawling and like it's it's good stuff.
And that's one of my favorite things in horror movies. Actually, I talked about this before years ago on a podcast that doesn't exist anymore, but there was the Tribeca Film Institute's podcast, and I got to talk with Glenn McQuaid, who's a genre filmmaker himself. I was talking about how like lack of physics is something in horror movies that always gets me. I think of when I was a kid, the original Nightmare on Elm Street, the shot that bothered me the most, which doesn't hold up by any means, but it was very cool. And as a kid, is Freddy has this like really long bendy arm at one point where he's like, and it freaked me out as a child. Or I think of there's an opening scene to Dario Argento's Inferno, which is his like pseudo sequel to Suspiria, where this woman like finds like an entire house underwater, and the scene lasts for like 10 minutes and she never comes up for air. And I'm just the whole time I'm just like, like, how is she breathing?
This isn't right. I don't like
So that's I love that lack of physics, because and it's so well employed, like you said, because it does look like they're just phasing out of nowhere. They're just coming and you're right, like obviously like your brain is like, there's a door back there or something, but it looks so cool.
Oh yeah. Oh God, what else was the other? I mean, besides they did like crawling down the walls, they're coming out of corners.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, what? I'm confused. I'm a little like grossed out. There's something a little gross, like not a lot. They're not gooey. We like horror goo here.
Yeah.
Love a good goo. It's not gooey. It's the thing that this film's missing, but it's like a dryness actually because of all the cobwebs, and you can almost hear creaking. which I have realized I do not like, but in a good way. I like the moistness of a horror goo, but it's too dry out there.
With them being
You
like
just
that
really
pale
like
blue
that.
gives like an ashen maybe
Yes,
feel to
yeah,
it a
yeah.
little bit. Like, and the paint,
Yeah.
like you were saying earlier, it just
This is
has
like-
that more
yeah.
like dry, ashy,
Dry.
like dusty feeling.
Desiccated,
And like,
yeah.
yeah, desiccated is actually a really
Oh,
look at that.
yes.
Yeah, the Matt with
It is-
the vocabulary coming in.
Yes, it is
Um,
death.
But I'm sure this is not like an influence in any way because very different parts of the world and whatnot. But like I think of like Dante's Inferno and the center of hell is frozen and whatnot, and so
yeah.
like that sort of blue, cold,
Yeah.
desolate and whatnot. That it's not
Yeah.
warm at all. It's not that sort of loneliness too, because he is alone. Like that,
Oh, yeah.
no one believed him, and when they find him, they're just kind of like, well, I guess he was right.
Yeah,
So, like,
oh my god! Like when like the head priest guy comes in there, looks at like the crone corpse because she's turned into the crone, right?
And the
Looks
coffin's
at
falling apart.
the student he knows and sent there, and he literally just turns around and walks out. He doesn't even like check on the body he just like, nope, not my problem.
Full Abe Simpson.
yeah.
It's the
Grabbing
hat.
the hat.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost as if he's saying, I warned him. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you didn't. What?
You basically forced him here.
It was the 3 nights. Where's my check?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's gonna go to the monastery, right? That's
Yeah.
gonna. You're gonna
Since I'm here, I'll just take it with me. You can just write that out.
And I love then that we end back at like the seminary with like the 2 other guys who apparently were fine.
Yeah.
At the witch's place, and like
Had a good night's sleep.
yeah, they're great. And like Corma's already kind of become folklore himself
Yes.
because they keep going like, okay, because they keep saying like, what did he do, and like what did he, and then like maybe he's not dead. Who knows? And they're not like torn up about it. They're not upset. In fact, they're doing what they always do, which is like they're trying not to work and like slack off. They're just like drinking and eating, I think, scallions, some sort of onion. And like I like because they're telling something that actually happened partly to them.
Right.
But the rest of it it's a story now. He's a story, maybe a warning.
Yeah, I was going to say he's become a cautionary tale, which is very funny because it's a cautionary tale that they're clearly not heeding. They're just using as like a way to like entertain themselves too.
Yes.
Because he's like,
Yeah.
maybe that's him coming up the hill right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I was like, wow, you went to school with this guy.
right,
Okay,
exactly.
fine.
You were traveling with him. He's dead.
Damn, life's tough.
Just guys being guys, dunking on them no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just guys being dudes.
Guys being dudes. But the thing is, they're at a seminary.
Right.
Like the theory is that they're going to go on to be some sort of religious or what they call Corma, a philosopher. What like
the theologian and the orator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, KP. Details. Hell yeah.
Well,
But like, yeah, you're like,
because that's how they
they?
refer to them in the short story too, specifically like the 3 different like the orator, the theologian, the philosopher, and whatnot, and that's how you can tell them apart in the short story. So I like that they kept that element, even though like we now have a visual aid and we can just see that they're different people. But
yeah, and their titles did not help them. But then again, they did not live up to their titles.
No.
No. You think they just were like, yeah, I guess I'll go to school for this. Well, I'll get money and access to things. Like,
yeah.
It had to be like going to school for HVAC now.
Right.
Well, there's
the seminary is just a fraternity.
Yeah. Right. Well, it's weird because the detail is like when the Lord is asking Karma, like he's like, who's your dad? Who's your mom? And he's like, I don't have either. I'm like, is this an orphanage? is this just like is that what it is? Is no one's been called to it? They're just put there because there's nowhere else. So like that's what you're basing your like you know what? Who knows? Maybe they allowed this as religion because like it does not show religion as particularly in a good light.
Right, exactly. Because they're still being paid off, bought off.
Yeah.
By they're like, whatever. Like he's the rich guy. You gotta go do it.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So sneakily, it's also about power. Like it could
Right.
be about religion, but it's also about who is sending you places and why, and do you have a way to say no? And You know, not that
Right.
that reflected anything at the Soviet Union in 1967.
Well, I was gonna say, like, and then it becomes like a perfect, like, kind of like, hey guys, what about
Yeah.
this? And the Soviet Union, and there, so yeah, subversive quality is certainly there, baked into the concept.
Yeah, subversive folklore. Good stuff.
Doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah. And it's just like a nice, it is the exact length it needs to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. And yeah.
And I don't think, I mean, I don't know if you could stretch that story any further either,
I don't.
because and it's so beautifully done. And I know obviously, like, part of that, because you were mentioning how the nights are kind of short, or just the length that they are. I mean, part of that is just the effects that they're dealing with at the time too, because they're like, because I guess there was some attempt to maybe do something further, and they just didn't have the technology at the time, and so they're like, listen, we're getting what we're getting, but I think it plays out
Oh, yeah.
perfectly. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Well,
it
it
feels
still
more
looks
super.
gorgeous.
Oh my god!
Like,
Right? Like I'm just like I this is gorgeous. I'm also terrified. I'm gonna have a nightmare, but I want to watch some more.
but what if I went and took an Airbnb there, like a little longer?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, listen, I'll light every candle. Okay,
Right.
and I'll just make sure there's a nice bed in there. Besides that, I think I could rock
Right.
that room. It
Yeah,
has a
the
vibe.
The circle just needs to be large enough for the bed.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, here's the one problem. Yeah, you lay up in the ceiling, and surprise, there's a big Jesus face up there, which I love that we don't see it right away, and I'm like, oh damn, okay, so I might need like a canopy. That's intense. That's just real intense.
Yeah. Privacy, sir. Thank you.
I got your baby version, just daggers at me, and then I got this going on.
Yeah. Canopy, post-it notes, whatever. Yeah.
Wow, I think.
Yeah.
Man, did we cover this?
Death on that
That's
one,
deep.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a short film too,
Yeah,
so like I feel bad. Like, you know, it's
Don't
hard
feel
to.
bad, please.
You know,
This is a
it's hard
joy.
to like stretch it out too, because of
Yeah.
the way that, you know,
Yeah.
but it's such a joy. If I can, and this is a bit of a shameless plug for,
Okay.
that was one of the joys I had about editing One Night Cherub, because One Night Cherub is a fun little creature feature, and I'm literally going to take every second I can to plug it real quick. Directed by the brilliant Austin King, who's a very young filmmaker, and I think he's got a big future in front of him, and produced by him and his husband Stephen Hansen, who make up Cloudy House Pictures, and they were so nice to invite me to edit it, because I've known, similar to you, Matt, I've known Austin through the internet, the great unifier, and not the thing that's destroying all of our brains and causing all of our problems.
We had a good run. There was a window there where
Right.
Unifier-
Exactly. It was good for a good 5 years. But that was one of the things when editing it, I was like, oh, like I didn't, when Austin first told me about it and pitched me out, I was like, there's no way you're gonna pull this off. And I know that's horrible of me to say. And then when I got the footage, I was like, oh, this looks great. Like, I'm shocked. Like, this creature, like, you're doing a really cool thing with this creature feature. And it was cool to be able to have that experience, to be able to do something and contribute to something like that. So that's maybe my like little tribute to V as well too, when you came to me and I was like, I want to talk about V. I want to talk about something that has like fun stop motion weirdness in it involved. Not that the cherub was stop motion, but he was a very cool puppet. So
Yeah, he's a. I love killer critters.
yeah.
So Demi stole my heart instantly, and I feel like V also has it has a variety of sizes of critters that kill you, which is nice, because you like to be scared at different levels. Like, you can't look up, you can't look down, you can't look forward.
It's so true.
Yeah, you don't get a stiff neck. You're always moving.
Even if he was to drop to the floor, there'd be a cat or a bird or something.
Oh,
something
right?
would come out there.
There's no relief.
Yeah.
Anyway, audience, if you get a chance to see One Night Cherub, you're our audience, and if you didn't see it at a festival, you should go to the next one, because FOMO. But also, like, you'll like it. It's exactly what you want. It's a beautiful little creature feature. It's wonderfully queer.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a lesson.
No.
No, there's no lesson.
Nope.
But that's okay. Sometimes, you know what? Another V thing. Sometimes things just happen.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, V has a lovely message about how you should be strong in your faith, and One Night Cherub, no, does not.
Okay, it's all right. You know what? But you know what? Like, maybe that hookup's worth it. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
Right, exactly. I mean, you guys brilliantly paired it with Night Stage, but thematically, I was like,
Yeah.
you got it.
Yep.
You understood.
Yep.
The movie I yelled at the most. I'm at home watching the Screwdriver
Oh,
Night
yeah.
Stage.
Like, no.
It hits like a certain like halfway point, and I'm yelling at every single character. Stop making bad decisions.
You should know better. You should know better.
You stop it. You weren't even a problem, and now you are. Anyway,
That guy walking around in the background, him. He knows better.
Anyway, hey, also watch Night Stage if you like yelling at. And this is this is a compliment. I was engaged.
I was just sitting there eating my popcorn saying, what a mess. And this is great. This is great. From the comfort of my own home.
Yeah. I was like, listen, you know what? You need a strong director in theater. You can't just make stuff up. That's where I got from it. Like, you need to have safety tools. You need to go through and see what people are comfortable with, or this happens.
This happens.
Yep.
There we go.
I
went to a performing arts school. I saw things.
This is my favorite part of every show when I have to try to land the plane.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Here you go.
Yeah. So V, I thank you again, Gavin, for bringing this to us.
Yes.
Thank you.
Everybody listening, if you haven't watched it already, which I don't know why you haven't, it's 77 minutes. Go watch it.
Exactly.
It's brilliant. And yeah, never would have seen it without your suggestion, Gavin. And I feel like so much the richer for it. Like, it is such a great movie. So many like building blocks for the things we love years later. Yeah, please go watch it if you haven't already. And Gavin, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sharing this with us. Please come back anytime. We'd love to have you back.
I would love that. Seriously, I love this show. I love the festival. I'm currently holding my stressed potato. It stays here at my editing desk with me, so like I use it a lot. So
for real, my favorite thing we ever made is that.
It's so good. What a brilliant idea.
Yeah, so thank you, Gavin. Is there anything you want to talk about? Any projects you've got going on? Oh, there he is.
I'm sorry, I just saw the multi-eyed potato, so the many-eyed potato. Always ready to be hired if anybody needs a cool editor for film, television, whatnot. Can't really talk about anything I'm currently doing a bunch of ads and stuff, so it's not like I'm like, ooh, secret. It's not like stay tuned to my Instagram and you'll find out. No, it's ads. but not that I'm not thankful for the work. Thank you, everybody who hires
keeps
me.
the lights on. It's great.
Exactly. But yeah, thank you so much. If you want to listen to my ramblings about other movies, I host a really cool podcast called The Mixed Reviews with my good friend Louis Rondon. That's been around since 2017, and it's a monthly podcast where we take a film subject such as an actor, director, or mini genre, film history. We learn as much as we can, and then we watch as many movies as we can, and we give all that information back to the audience, and then we tell people what we like, what we don't like. And our next episode, speaking of genre, is about Wes Craven. So that's, I was gonna say, good old Uncle Wes, R.I.P. And then my other podcast is called The Q Division, which is done with my good friend Chels Eichholtz, and it's a James Bond rewatch podcast. But we're going to be branching out into other things because we're getting to the modern era, and I don't want to stop podcasting with her because she's amazing and great. So we're going to start covering other spy films that are not quite James Bond centered, but James Bond centric or inspired.
Nice.
Like in Flint and all that stuff.
Yep. Yeah, that's on the list.
I'm so excited.
Reflection at Dead Diamond. Oh, that's weird.
Oh my God,
we showed
that's a
that
great
at
one.
Anomaly.
You did. And by the way, like, not to plug something that you didn't show, but like if you like Reflection at a Dead Diamond, obviously Danger Diabolic, like, which was a huge inspiration on that movie. Yeah. Double feature him, baby.
That's a great idea.
You like that mask thing? Like
Yeah.
That's great. And then hopefully we'll see Gavin again at the film festival. This year's edition, I hope you can make it too. It's November 11th.
I would love to.
Please come. If you need more information, check out anomalyfilmfest.com. Anomaly Film Fest on all the socials. Meg does an incredible job.
Come hassle me on the socials. Don't hassle me on the socials. Let's just be cool. Let's just be friends.
like Gavin and I were saying, we had that 5-year window where the internet
Yeah.
was cool. Let's keep Anomaly socials just as cool as everything was 5-10 years ago.
Yeah.
Pretend
Now you're gonna
Gavin.
have a heck of a 3 nights on those social media.
I did the block circle.
Pretend Megan is the Tom in your top 8 for the next.
Aw. Yeah.
And again, thank
Doing
you,
it.
Gavin, for coming in and hanging with us. We'll do it again sometime, I hope, very soon.
Yay.
And for everybody listening, thank you very much for spending the time with us. We hope to see you in the theater. It's anomalyfilmfest.com. Anomaly loves you, and we'll